And good morning everybody, my name is Osa. It is Saturday morning and we are here playing FS19 on Oakfield Farm. Farming Agency Edition. We have more money. Everything's fun and wonderful. Let's actually take a look at what we've achieved since we were last playing. Money. I sold a vehicle. Okay. Biogas income, 27,000, oh, 69,000. So we sold a lot of silage yesterday, which is a good thing. Yeah, the income is credited to us in the morning of the following day. Oops, that was on already. Nope, that's a good start. Okay. So I've got another ton of silage to take down to the BGA, and then we can get back to harvesting again. So I think I've basically figured it out. It's about once an hour we need to take silage down to the BGA just to keep the digester running. And obviously with the amount of maize silage I have up at the farm, I want to transfer that as quickly as I can. But that does give us an hour of harvesting some stuff in the meantime. The ground is damp, but we are harvesting sugar beets and potatoes, which aren't affected by early morning dew. I don't think we had rain yesterday, so it's basically a light dew, which is not going to affect the weight of the ground overly. Incoming traffic. So yes, I managed to get a fair amount of potatoes picked up last Saturday afternoon, so the potato harvest is well underway. The sugar beet harvest is close to completion. But I think what I might do is get as many of the potatoes picked up as I can. There is going to be a little bit of tidy up on that field because the worker didn't dig up all the potatoes, and it was just getting so complicated between the rows of potatoes and what hadn't been dug up yet that I felt it was just easier to pick up what's already on the surface and then go back in and dig up the rest. But for right now, we are here at the BGA, so get this thing unloaded. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of income over the next couple of days just from the silage. We've got all those bales. Should be ready now. Well, no, 6 hours to go. So this lot will all be ready this evening or this afternoon. And to be frank, we're not going to be even close to getting those done. Or getting the farmyard empty, should I say. Gonna need to take a look at the sheep sometime today. He's going to keep going round, so that gives us a free run down to the farm. Okay, good morning, well FS19 and Whitehawk. Weekend is starting out a little bit hectic. Teenage Osei has a thing at church, so I had to take her there this morning, which is why we're starting a little bit late. I do play Farm Sim 22. I am now looking for a map that I can really work with. I'm playing, who is it? Simulation for the Nations, running a sort of a Clarkson Farm challenge. So I'm running Calmsden with the Clarkson Farm challenge. In essence, play it in hard mode. You're not allowed to jump between, tap between vehicles. So you have to walk everywhere if you're not driving. You can rent one thing at a time, but a harvester, header and header trailer counts as one thing. So you need to own some equipment, obviously, but after purchasing the fields, you are only allowed to use 250,000 for running costs and for equipment purchases. So it's kind of a challenge. We're also playing on ×5 with 3-day seasons. You cannot drop below ×5. Now the issue I'm having with it is the Calmsden fields are so big that it takes an if you think at ×5, 1 real-time hour is 5 game hours. So potentially you're probably looking at 2 real-time hours per game day. Oh, that's filling. I'm surprised. Actually, I'm not surprised it won't fill much. I don't think. So I was wondering why it wasn't filling last week, and what I discovered, there we go, is that you have to turn these on. So, turn on the engine, jump out, and... Oh, am I in? I am in that one. Okay, jump out. Get in this one and turn on the engine, and now what I have to do is set each to unload, and it's not working. Yeah, good. Well, maybe we do that. Drive forward. Out. It took me so long to figure this all out. There we go. Is that working now? Who knows? Let's extend the doodad. Probably lower that. How's that look? That looks okay. Come on. Okay, let's pull up the help text. What's it doing? Turn on the belt, B. That's what I was missing. Get out. Run to the other one. Get in that one. B. There we go. So now those are turned on. They're good until I restart the game. So yeah, it takes me, I'm using, what am I using? Let's jump down here. I think I'm using the small plough I have here, which is the Cavernland 7 board. Oh no, this is the 5. I'm using one of these 7 blades, and it takes me 2 real-time hours to do 2/3 of a field. So that's the problem I'm sort of seeing with Calmsden, especially if I decide I want to do a sort of a fresh start with small farm, limited equipment, and work my way up from there, it is going to be a very, very, very slow gameplay. And I'm not sure how that translates to streaming. Because do you want to sit and watch me plough a field for 2 hours? Because I'm not sure that's going to be exciting. And we missed that turn entirely. Okay. But it's because of the relative sizes of the fields. Now on this farm, it's not such a big deal that the fields are big, because we have some fairly big equipment, and a lot of the time I can set a worker loose on. I can set a worker loose ploughing this field and then go away and do something else. So, in my mind, it's not such a big issue that, okay, we're going to be, it's going to take 2 hours to plough this field, because I'm not personally overseeing the ploughing. But when you start a new farm, one, you don't have much money to pay a worker, and two, you shouldn't turn that steeply there. Do not fresh. Are you seriously saying that I can't pick up potatoes? Well, there's a thing I wasn't expecting. Okay. So that thing doesn't work when it's when the ground's wet. So I'm going to jump over to. What are you doing? You're still filling. Oh, this guy's full, of course. Okay, well, let's do that then. We've got 6,800 litres of potatoes. We should probably go and turn the valve off, because I can't do anything with that until the ground dries out. Surprise. Turn all the lights off, turn the engine off, get back in the thing. I have not replaced my mic recently. I've got a Yeti desktop mic, which does have directional pickup. Although I was messing around with the what's it called? The Streamlabs settings this morning, because it wasn't playing the game sound, so I had to reset all the inputs on the sound channels. So that might have had something to do with it. Oh, turn. Oh, you know what? I've got a Land Rover there for a very good reason. Yes, yeah, that's the other thing. And I bought that was the thing. It being the Calmsden, the Clarkson Challenge. First thing I did was to check the store for used equipment, and is it here? Can't remember if it's there or there. The Series 9 is there. I got a Series 8, so basically the smaller cousin of this one, in the Warrior. A smaller engine. Okay, big. Oh no, that's the big engine. So I got this thing in the 8, which is about, I think, 287 horsepower, because it's big and Jeremy Clarkson. So that's kind of fun, but that set me back almost all of my budget. And being used equipment, I think I'm just finishing October, and it's it's got 40 hours on it. So yes, there is kind of an issue, and it's one of the reasons why I'm looking at, if you look at something like Elm Creek, you start with a group of sort of 3 small fields, and there are big fields out there to expand into. Looking on this map, I think you start with 1 and 2, and 3, and the farm. Well, if we go here, you look at 1, it's 7 hectares, 5 hectares, 3 is 3 hectares. So these are fairly small fields. This one, 25 hectares. That's the starting field sizes almost in on Calmsden. That's a big field. It's going to take you a long time to work it. And while Oxygen David has been very generous with your starting equipment, it's definitely a challenge. It's enough to keep, I think, multiplayer works, and multiplayer works as a stream because you can jump between jobs. But a single player, I mean, as a non-stream single player farm, I'm enjoying the farm. It's a really beautiful map, but I don't know how well it would work as a stream until you've got the farm established with lots of equipment. Yes, the guy from Top Gear who actually owned a farm, and his farmer quit a couple of years ago, and so he decided, farming, how difficult can it be? And so he's got a show on Amazon which shows how difficult it is, especially with his kind of mindset. But yes, I've followed Clarkson since late 90s, I would guess. And he's definitely into the powerful toys, so you have to get... And of course Lamborghinis aren't available in-game. I think there is a mod on 19. And I think there was one in-game on 17, but they're the smaller Lambo. And he's got a big one, which I think is functionally equivalent to the Deutz-Fahr Series 8. Similar price, similar power, similar everything. I think Deutz makes the Lambo at this stage. Kind of like New Holland and Case are cousins when it comes to production. Yes, yeah, and that's kind of the problem I have with my farm at the moment. I can only afford to either rent equipment or buy small equipment or used equipment. So it's a little bit of a challenge, I must admit. Although I think I broke the challenge. I ended up doing... There was a grass contract in Field 7 to create silage bales. And because I've got a lot of grass fields, I bought the single side mower. So if we go here, mowers, because most of the equipment's available here and there. So I bought one of these. Which mows out to the side at the back, because it's all I can afford type of thing. That's 16,000. I couldn't even afford the single front mower that goes with it, wherever that is. I don't know where that is. I thought there was one. But anyway, there's no... I couldn't afford the front mower, which is about 10,000. Then I needed a windrower, so I got... I think it's basically a slightly bigger version of that, 80 horsepower with a little bit more working width, which was an absolute pain to use as well. I've then rented the Vicon Fast Baler, which I'm incredibly impressed with. It's a really nice baler. It only produces the 125 centimetre bales, but frankly that's fine. So I baled up the entire field. I then went off and baled up all my fields as well, returned the baler, I'd rented that, and I'd ended up with about £1,600 at the end of the day in the bank. So I had to sell some crop to give me enough money, and I rented the Anderson bale lifter. So is that in here? Yes. Yeah, so I rented the RBM 2000. That takes 24 bales. Drove down to the BGA, dropped off all the bales at the BGA, and 3 of them didn't disappear, and the other 21 did, and it told me the contract is complete. So I was kind of surprised with that. Not something I expected. But I went back to the field. There were still bales on the fields. 60 bales to be precise. So, yeah. I ended up selling 60 bales at, I think, about £15,000 per 24. So 2.5 loads of bales, and then finished the contract, and the contract paid out 22,000. Admittedly, it took me 2 days to complete it, but I got so much money from that. I'd gone from sort of 1,600 money to over 60,000. It's sort of not sure that's supposed to happen, but well, it is what it is. So I now have a ton of money with which to work my farm, which was a little bit unexpected, but also I'm not sure it's quite so challenging. And I'm playing hard mode, so the payout should be fairly reduced, and I'd go with that. I mean, I'm looking at my barley is for a 20,000 litre grain cart, I get 6,000 from the sale of barley. Probably a similar amount for the sale of the wheat I have. So quite frankly, it's not a lot of income. And I know watching Daggerwin's playing Calmsden, I presume on easy mode, and he's looking at 1,300 for a per 1,000 litres. So about 4 times what I'm selling my barley for. But anyway, it's a good challenge, and I have mentioned that it's difficult. The fields are so huge that it's just a lot of work. It takes a long time to do everything. All my fields need to be ploughed, so I'm kind of do a contract and then use up the rest of the day ploughing part of my field, and I'm slowly getting through ploughing the big field 3 and 6. I don't have field 2. I couldn't afford to buy that for the start out, or I decided not to. I figured 2 big arable fields were enough, and then I've got all the grass fields down along the north side of the river and the cow farm, and that's it. That's my thing. And this is locked up again. There we go. Now we're rolling. Well, it might be damp ground, but you can harvest sugar beets in the late. Yay! Now, I don't think this field is going to take us too long, so that's a good thing. It's now 9:45 real time. I have to leave here about 11:30, so we will be ending the stream a little bit early again. I think Following next week, I think, is something like President's Day or what have you. So we should be able to get a full-length stream in next week. Yeah, I kind of wanted to do a little bit of potato picking this week, just so that it wasn't the same as last week where we pretty much harvested most of the rest of this field. But apparently you can't harvest potato. You can't pick potatoes off the ground when they're wet. I'm not sure how realistic that is. Let's lower that back. That should slide in right behind us and get all of the beets. Yes. Okay. Oh, and yes, what I wasn't paying attention to was we're full again. Fortunately, these are very closely tabbed, so yeah, that's true, and that's why I'm okay playing this as a single player farm. I might consider it as a. It seems to be a good multiplayer farm, and you can, with the equipment you start off with, you've got 3 tractors, a harvester. You've got 2 fields to harvest immediately. You've got another field that has been cultivated and you could seed with canola or some winter crop. So it's definitely something that, it has its things. Now I've heard from Oxygen David was saying this week he is now working on a 1.2 upgrade to Calmsden. He's going to be adding linseed as a crop and doing some other things, and it will require a new game save if you switch to version 1.2. So keep that in mind. He's also working on Court Farms, which is more of a medium and small fields farm, which is probably something I would like as a Saturday morning stream example. The problem is he said he's probably not going to be releasing that until next year, so that's a little bit far out. So I'm probably going to be looking at someone else's map, something that I can start with small fields and then expand into bigger fields as the farm ages, and that sort of thing would work out quite well. There is another British farm, Green Acres, Green Fields, something like that, which I have seen a couple of map reviews, but I haven't seen any word of it on the mod hub yet.